Good evening and welcome to Boston After Hours. Our topic tonight is hunting the hunters, or more accurately, identifying, tracking, and catching serial killers. With us is Luke Sinclair, best-selling author whose most recent work, the controversial novel Reaper, has touched off a firestorm of criticism amongst groups
This
as
guy
diverse
looks
as
very
the
nervous,
religious right
Joe.
and far-left feminists. Also, Dr. Daphne Dumont, a former director with the FBI's Behavioral Psychology Unit. Dr. Dumont has spent most of her career profiling serial killers and has interviewed the likes of Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, and Jeffrey Dahmer. All right, Luke, obviously you've also studied serial killers, or how else could you write about them so convincingly?
Actually, I've never spoken or communicated with a serial killer. My work comes from the inside out.
The inside out. Then is there a serial killer lurking inside of you?
Oh, I think there's a killer lurking in all of us, just like there's a rapist, an arsonist, thief.
Hold on a second. Help me out here, Doctor.
Mr. Sinclair is referring to the primal impulse theory, which holds that our primitive ancestors were not governed by any sense of morality.
In other words, there was no such thing as guilt. Man was governed in accordance with his nature, which was violent, rapacious, arbitrary. What religious people would call evil.
Then evil is genetic. It exists within all of us.
No. Evil's a term invented by a man to judge those who couldn't live in accordance with the rules of civilized society. Human nature is not good or evil. It just is.
And you're able to tap into that primitive nature within yourself, which you say is the thing that drives all serial killers.
Yeah, I've been able to access that.
Well, doesn't that scare the hell out of you?
Sometimes.
Mr. Sinclair's novels have come under a great deal of criticism due to their vivid portrayal of sexual violence. In order to hear some other views about his work, we've invited spokespeople for two groups, the Violence Action Coalition and the Council for America's Families. Martha Stedman and James Russell, welcome.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry, is there something you wanted to say, Luke?
Yeah, I thought we were going to have a serious discussion here.
Well, what makes you think we aren't?
Well, all these people are interested in doing is attacking me personally.
You're the one who goes around declaring your right to free speech. Won't you give us the same privilege?
I just write the novels, all right? I don't force people to read them.
Whoa, you're sounding awfully defensive there, Luke.
Face it, Mr. Sinclair, your writing is an instrument of Satan. It's for God's sake that we're here to stand up against the sickness
hold
that
on
you're
there,
trying to
Luke.
spread.
We're just having a friendly talk. Boston After Hours. We'll be back right after this. I'm Gabriel Gould.
Well, that's a damn record, Luke. 5.5 minutes. You usually last at least 10.
Yeah, well, the crap quotient was pretty high out there tonight, Joe. What the hell are you doing to me? You knew that he was going to have those two yahoos on tonight, didn't you?
No, I could have guessed. What's the problem?
What's the problem?
10,000 people who haven't read Luke Sinclair will go out tomorrow and buy your book because of this.
Mm-hmm. You have no idea what I go through to put out a book. And I don't do it to get on a piece of trash show like this. Give me the
You
bag.
do it to make money, like the 250 grand advance from my publishing house.
Right.
And we haven't seen word one. 11 national retailers are waiting for your next book. It's 3 months overdue!
Go get your book!
Sinclair! Sinclair! Hey! Pornographer! Sinner! Sleazebag! Murderer! Blood, Sinclair! Next time, it'll be the real thing.
Jeez. Creep!
What happened?
Relax. It's just paint. Some wacko's idea of giving Reaper 2 thumbs down.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Take those clothes off.
Where's Chrissy? She in bed?
Yeah, she wanted to stay up for the show, but she fell asleep.
Did you watch the show?
What there was of it. You seemed pretty uncomfortable in there.
You can't imagine how I felt. I was climbing the walls.
Why did you agree to do it?
Joe, I owe him a book, remember? upstairs and clean up.
Do you really have to do this?
I've got to get away. I have to put some distance between me and this insanity.
How long are you going to be gone for?
I don't know, whatever it takes.
Where are you going?
Up the coast, someplace quiet. It's never been this bad. I haven't written a complete sentence in 18 months.
Don't drink.
Don't you worry about my drinking. Look, Melanie, if I don't get out of here, I'm gonna break. I have to find some way to overcome this block.
Okay, but you know what it does to you.
Nobody knows what it does to me better than I do, trust me. I've got my pills. Hey. Don't worry.
Thriller writer Luke Sinclair stormed off the set after being attacked. However, Boston After Hours host, Gabrielle Gold, was not at a loss for words.
Well, I think Mr. Sinclair showed his true colors tonight. Not the blood red that he's usually known for, but yellow, as in coward. He had a chance to defend his work, but instead, he ran away.
Hello? Hello?
Lord, it's the middle of the night. The motel owners gotta sleep.
I'm sorry, I've been driving for hours. Seems all the motels are booked.
Yeah, well, it's the annual lobster festival. Everybody closer to town is booked.
Do you have a room?
Oh, no, we're all booked too. Just kidding. Yeah, we got a room. All it takes is money or a credit card. Okay, Mr. Sinclair. Luke Sinclair. The writer?
No, that's another Luke Sinclair. We're always getting mixed up.
You're telling me this isn't you?
Yeah, it's me. Look, I'm trying to stay anonymous. I just came up here to get away. I'm working on a new book. I
Won't say a word.
Thanks.
A new book? What's it called?
where nightmares end.
Just felt a chill down my spine. Here, you sign here. And I'll take care of this. We're in business. So, enjoy your stay.
Oh, thank you.
Place is almost empty, so you should have plenty of peace and quiet. Hey, you're bleeding.
Oh, no, that's paint. I had an accident. Look, I'd really appreciate it if you wouldn't tell anybody I'm here.
Our little secret. If you need anything, you just let me know.
Thank you.
You're awake? Good. Listen, you are never gonna guess who just checked in.
a.m., June 3rd. Four years, 10 months, 16 days. Luke, you're fucked.
Get a move on. It's almost light out.
You want to carry this thing? It weighs more than the wife.
Just move it. Want to be on the water by dawn. What the?
What is it?
Something on the trail. Watch what you Get off my...
What the?
We take care of it. This is the hangar here. We'll take this truck. Right over there.
I think he's arrived. Plane's coming in now.
Our first corpse that isn't a frozen hiker or a drowned swimmer, and they sent in a suit.
Apparently he's an expert.
An expert at what? That behavioral science bull? They're sending us a damn shrink, Hobbs.
Have a nice day, man.
Thank you.
His trip wouldn't have been that bad if he was flying with her.
Hello. I'm Detective Sergeant Sonia Lehrman, Maine State Police, Sex Crimes Division. You must be Sheriff Norris.
Did they just sent you?
Excuse me, what's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. Help the lady with her luggage.
That won't be necessary. First things first, I'd like to see the crime scene.
I gotta warn you, it's not pretty. You sure you can handle it?
Let's get something straight right up front. Just cut the condescending crap, and we'll get along fine.
You heard the detective. Let's get to the crime scene.
Sheriff,
Larman?
why are these men wearing rubber gloves? Rubber gloves, standard issue at crime scenes the world over. It helps preserve the evidence.
Rained last night, and it was windy. Your rubber gloves aren't going to be doing much of anything.
It will protect the evidence that we do find. Now, if you don't have them, I do.
They get gloves, Sheriff.
Let's say we use them.
Hey! Put on your damn gloves!
Any, car tracks leading up to the area?
Didn't find any so far.
Footprints?
No. She was found by a couple old boys, smugglers.
Smugglers?
Smugglers. They hustle cigarettes and liquor up to Canada tax-free. They made a mess of the ground, though. Tramping around all panicky. Well, the guys did find this, though. It's a cable tie, used in different places for packing, construction, stuff like that. It's identical to the one found around her neck.
These are also used by law enforcement officials as handcuffs.
Shot these as soon as we came last night. I wasn't wearing rubber gloves when I took him, though. Sorry.
Sheriff! Found it over there in the bushes.
Yeah, looks like...
It looks like a page from a book.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Do a one-day pass on the scene and send everything you find to the State Forensics Lab in Augusta. Thank you.
Fine.
Hey, Dalton.
Hi.
I heard about the you-know-what.
The murder.
You know that for sure.
It wasn't an accident, it wasn't suicide, and sure as hell wasn't natural causes. Oh, this is Miss Detective Letterman. We're gonna be putting her up here during the investigation.
Welcome. Thank you.
Fix her up with your best room.
It's taken.
Your second best room.
Follow me. Hi, Sheriff, I'm gonna need a couple of things. Dedicated phone line, internet access provider.
Why don't you just settle in and we'll talk about it later?
Okay. Fresh linen once a week. Coffee shop closes at 8. Public phone in the office. And enjoy your stay.
Not many guests.
That's the beginning of the season. At first, people want to stay closer to town. A week or two, I'll be booked solid till Labor Day. Right now, you got the place just about to yourself.
Wilma. Hey, do me a favor. Keep an eye on our guest there.
Why? Don't you trust her?
I don't know her. I want to make sure she stays on course.
Okay, Don.
What about our other guest?
What about him?
You see him go out at all last night?
Oh, come on. You don't think.
I do think. Thinking's a big part of my job.
He just came up here to finish his book.
And we both know what kind of books he writes, huh?
Hi. Hello. Thought you might want a suggestion on a place to eat.
Sure.
Eddie's. Best seafood in the county. Dead center of town. Tell him Wilma sent you.
Sounds great. Thank you.
How's the writing coming?
It's, it's coming.
Yeah, it's me. He's on his way.
So, what do you think of our little town, detective?
Well, I haven't had much time to take it in, but it's...
Excuse me. Excuse me. Have we met?
No, I don't think so.
I know. You're that writer. I seen your picture on the dust jacket. You staying around here?
Yeah, yes, I am.
You hear what happened last night?
No. What happened?
We found a body last night. Out in the woods. She died very badly, just like in one of your books. Well, why don't you pull up a chair here, Mr.
Sinclair. Luke Sinclair.
Dalton Norris. Very glad to meet you. This is Detective Sergeant Sonia Lerman, Maine State Police, Sex Crimes Division.
Hello.
Detective?
So, what brings you up to Keeler's Point, Mr. Sinclair?
My work. I was hoping to find a nice, quiet place to write.
Normally, we're as quiet a spot as you'll find on this coast. That is until last night.
Who was the victim?
We haven't ID'd her yet, but it's not who as much as how. Detective, would you like to brief him?
Excuse me a moment, please. I don't think it's a good idea to share information with someone outside the investigation.
I don't see how it could hurt. I'm getting an idea here. Mr. Sinclair, you might be of some help to us. You're a writer. I suppose you read, too. Maybe you could help us identify this.
Sheriff, this is a serious procedural mistake.
No. I know you like to treat your evidence like the Holy Grail. But this man is a writer. And I doubt that anybody but a writer could identify this. Any idea what book this page comes from? The moonlight flashed off her back intermittently, but...
When he saw it, it looked as if it was a strobe light flashing, dancing on her flesh as she ran through the trees. It's from a book called Reaper, which I wrote.
You wrote this?
Yep. And page 63 deals with a murder.
Just like in the forest.
Sheriff, I have no idea what happened in the forest.
No. Of course you don't.
Well, if you'll excuse me, Detective, it's a pleasure. Sheriff.
You set this up, didn't you?
Now, why would you think that, Detective?
Damn it, Norris. Don't mess with me. You knew that that was a page from one of his books.
Miss Lehrman, I was simply questioning a suspect.
Suspect?
I think he fits that category. And I found that the most effective way of questioning a suspect is when he doesn't even know that's happening.
He's a hack writer on vacation.
He's a best-selling novelist who wrote about exactly what happened here last night.
Sheriff, you're trying to run this investigation alone, and I'm not going to let that happen. You better tell me next time you go off on some tangent.
Now, let's not get testy, Detective. I am working with you. You just don't realize that.
Evening. How's the investigation going?
The investigation is going fine, thank you.
What can I do for you?
Do you have some books by Mr. Sinclair back there?
Sure do.
Do you have Reaper?
Right here. Start reading that tonight, you'll be sleeping with the lights on.
Thanks.
Soon. Soon.
Yes?
Phone call for you. Says she's your wife.
I'm coming.
You may want to hurry. She sounds upset.
We think she died between 1 a.m. and 5.
He checked in just after midnight.
But you also said that he was still in his room at 1:30.
Yeah. Still gives him plenty of time.
I don't know. He still has to find the victim.
His kid's partying on his beach all the time.
So why didn't one of them see him leave with her?
She went for a pee. She went for a walk. She wanted to be alone.
Look, sex crimes are based on control. That's common to all of them. Now, if it is Sinclair, he's not in control out here. I mean, it's unfamiliar turf. It's the middle of the night.
Cloudless night. The moon near full. Terrified girl. He'd be in control.
You're worrying for nothing. How'd you find out where I am?
I got a list of hotels and motels from the main tourist board, and I started calling.
Can't wait to see our phone bill at the end of the month.
This isn't funny, Luke. The publishing house called. They're also looking for you.
Relax, Mel. I'll call them. It's only been 2 days. I just don't need any distractions right now.
Are you taking your medication?
Yeah, I am. Look, I gotta get off this phone.
When are you coming back?
Look, give me a week to pull this together, okay? Goodbye.
Everything all right?
Yeah, sure.
You look like you could use some coffee.
I read his book last night.
And?
It's Grizzly. I'll talk to him. I'll see if I can get him to open up.
I knew we'd make a great team.
Sit down anywhere.
Thank you. Mr. Sinclair, I want to apologize for last night. I want you to know that I was not party to that ambush.
Ambush?
Well, I think it was pretty obvious that the sheriff knew who you were.
And he suspects that I had something to do with the murder.
You're a stranger in town. He's curious. That's all.
Detective, did you ever come across a crime novelist who practiced what he wrote?
Not one that's successful.
Please.
Thank you. Speaking of crime novels, I read Reaper last night, cover to cover, in fact. It's definitely a page-turner.
I'm flattered. This is probably the first time I've ever been read as part of a murder investigation.
Your insight into the psychological and emotional makeup of a serial killer is remarkable. You must have done extensive research.
All of us are born with the urge to kill. Most of us can control it.
You don't find environmental factors play a part?
Environment merely shapes our control mechanisms. Anyone brought up around violence just develops less control over his violent nature.
What about external factors like brain injury or substance abuse?
Anything that weakens the wall between our civilized selves and our primal selves can trigger episodes of violence.
And the wall between your civilized and primal selves. When does that come down?
Only when I write, Detective.
Orson, how goes it?
Sonia, we got you on this.
I'm the state presence, just like you. So what did she tell you?
She says she's a Caucasian female, 24 to 28 years of age, and that she had no drugs or alcohol in the system when she shuffled off her mortal coil.
So, no beach party?
Not likely. Decedent had numerous lacerations on the lower legs. These are consistent with the type of cut branches or underbrush would make.
He chased her.
For quite a while, I would guess. This was the cat playing with the mouse. Ligature marks on the mid-neck and a bruise on the back of the neck.
Strangulation?
Yeah, but there were multiple sharp force injuries on the thoracic and abdominal regions.
So, what else?
There were no defensive marks on the hands or arms. These injuries would have been post-mortem.
Angry son of a bitch.
Very angry. 9 bite marks.
Enough for a plate?
No, they're tears. He bit and tore away.
What about fluids?
Trace analysis for semen was negative, but there's something there. The lab will give us an answer in the morning.
What do you think it is?
Probably wore a condom. Looks like lubricant that was consistent with that.
Condom.
Well, this is the 90s, Sonia. Don't you practice safe sex?
Got the autopsy report on our victim.
Emma Arthur. Missing persons report from New Hampshire just came in.
Are you sure?
Positive. You have a chance to talk to Sinclair?
Yeah, I'm his biggest fan. Didn't get much out of him, though.
Maybe booze will loosen him up.
What are you talking about?
Hop says he's in the Squid Tavern. He's been there since noon.
The Squid Tavern.
Block north of Eddie's. Can't miss it.
I'm on my way. What?
There's been another missing person. Girl from Lincoln County. Sigrid Richter. German national on vacation here. She was on her way to Augusta. Some tour of the capital she booked. She never showed up.
Damn. Mind company?
Oh.
I'm always curious about what writers read. May I? I studied Stevenson in college. He wrote the first example of a
Doppelganger. Jekyll and Hyde, my literary ancestors.
Not too far from what I'm reading.
Which is?
The autopsy report on the girl we found in the woods.
Any help?
Not a fingerprint on her. Not even a partial or a blur.
He probably used rubber gloves.
They found traces of talcum powder on her thighs and face, so he must have taken them off at some point. Which kind of doesn't make sense. You wear gloves so that you don't leave a print. Why would he take them off?
Because there's some things more important than not being caught.
Such as?
Enjoying the kill. Touching the kill afterwards. Making sure it's real. I would think he'd use the back of his hand.
He used a ligature to strangle her. Wouldn't it be more real if he used his hands?
He associates the loop around the neck with something. A binding, a restriction.
A memory of his.
Could be anything. His mother holding him. Something he'd done before, something he was responsible for.
A murder?
No, not a murder. Although he will murder again.
I agree.
And this isn't his first killing. No one's that assured first time out.
There was a foreign substance found in the vaginal fluid. Not semen, not blood.
A condom?
That's right. A lubricant commonly found on condoms. How did you know that?
I didn't. I'm just putting myself in his shoes. He's crazy, not stupid. He doesn't want to be caught. Not yet.
Luke, do you have any idea why a page from your book was at the murder scene.
I don't know, Sonia. A lot of people read my books. So many of them are crazies.
I better be going. I'd like to talk to you again sometime.
Whenever you like.
Norris? When am I going to get a dedicated phone line for my computer?
When the phone company gets around to it. I had a sighting of that German girl.
Where?
She was last seen 48 hours ago, hitching rides on Highway 1 and Route 17.
Does that mean something?
That means she would have headed right through Acadia National Park. Didn't you read his book last night?
Yeah, so what?
In and around Acadia National Park are 3 sawmills.
The second murder in Reaper.
Happens in a sawmill. Page 196.
This still doesn't prove anything.
We have enough probable cause to arrest.
Norris, it won't hold up in court. It could be a copycat murder. His lawyer is going to argue that this is the work of some deranged fan. Did you do a profile on Sinclair?
No priors, no arrests, no convictions, no parking tickets.
So are you going out to the sawmills?
It's getting late in the day. By the time we got out there, it would be dark. And we can't light them tonight. We'll do it first thing in the morning.
Well, I've got to go over the autopsy report with a fine-tooth comb.
I would like you to stay on Sinclair as well. My money is still on him.
I'll do it. This is all too simple.
Damn!
Anthony Sinclair, married, 1 daughter, 5 years old. Nothing on the wife.
Any priors on Sinclair?
Yep. He was charged with assaulting his wife in 1992.
She was banged up pretty badly.
Why didn't that come up? We ran him.
He pleaded no contest.
Had the plea sealed. He spent 3 months in a secure facility.
What facility?
Millbrook Psychiatric.
What was he diagnosed with?
Alcohol abuse related.
By the way, are you working with Dalton Norris on this?
Yeah, why, do you know?
He worked vice in Boston, late 70s. He had a
Terrible rep. Planting evidence. A lot of rough stuff with the hookers.
I'd watch my step around him if I were you, Sonia.
Thanks, Carl. I owe you.
I've been thinking.
Yeah?
Well, say all this is true. What if Sinclair is the killer? This will probably get made into a movie.
Sometimes I wonder what exactly your thought processes are.
I was just wondering, who could play me? one of those things a woman wears in her hair. Looks pretty new.
A barrette.
Made in Germany. In German.
Oh, yeah? That's flies. We're gonna need some help.
Your hunch was bang on.
Looks like the second murder from Reaper.
Hold on a sec. Let's get this body to the morgue. Same trauma to the body?
Looks like it, only this time we got a bonus. What? Blood under the fingernails of the left hand.
Enough for a type?
More than enough. Enough for a sampling for alcohol or drugs.
Great. Get right on it. What have you found?
Not much. Ground around here is useless for footprints. It's a gravel road up to the mill, so no tire tracks. And not much in the fingerprints yet.
Well, he'd have worn gloves again.
I think it's time we paid Mr. Sinclair a visit on a more official basis.
Hey, Sheriff. Got something here. Page from a book.
It looks like page 196, and yeah, it's from Reaper. It's definitely time for a visit.
Sheriff, the boys want to start up the mill again.
Yeah, sure, let it go.
Sheriff, that would be defiling a crime scene.
These people gotta make a living, too. Sinclair. Remember that scene from Reaper where the killer's arrested?
Yes.
Arrests are never like that.
Mr. Sinclair, I want you to understand that although you've been read your rights, you're not under arrest and you're not under indictment.
However, this is a formal interrogation. Anything you say here today may be used against you at a later date.
Am I a suspect, Detective?
We didn't say that. We just want to ask you some questions. And if at any time you feel the need for legal representation, just ask.
Mr. Sinclair, did you book a room at the Keeler's Point Motel at approximately midnight on June 3rd?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
How did you know that the killer had had sexual intercourse with Emma Arthur?
Well, it wasn't much of a stretch. Detective Lerman is from the sex crimes unit.
But you knew the killer wore a condom.
No, I didn't. I was speculating.
What was that speculation based on?
My imagination. I used my imagination, just as I do when I'm writing about fictional killers.
But it's more than imagination. You're able to empathize with the killer, to get into his mind, feel him like you're wired to his senses.
It's the way I work.
Actually, it's almost like you were him.
We can't verify your whereabouts for the murder of the Arthur girl. And assuming that Sigrid Richter was murdered within the last 2 or 3 days...
I was in my room the whole time working. I didn't see anyone. I didn't speak to anyone.
2 murders. And you can't prove in either case that you were somewhere else.
Can you prove that I wasn't somewhere else?
We'd like your permission to take a blood sample. You're not under arrest, so we can't compel you to give one. You'd have to volunteer.
Okay. I'll give you a blood sample.
It'll take a couple of days to determine anything conclusive.
So I'll have to ask Mr. Sinclair to stay put.
Well, I got a family in Boston.
They could come up here to visit you. The alternative is that I arrest you now, file charges, and postpone the hearing until I get the results. It's up to you.
Well, okay. I'll hang out at the motel.
I guess that'll be all for now. So what do you think?
I don't think he's our man.
He does seem damn calm. The guilty ones always want a lawyer.
Well, we'll get the blood type from the fingernails of the victim in the morning.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I'm thinking there were 3 murders in Reaper. 2 down, 1 to go.
Mr. Sinclair, is it true you're a suspect in these murders?
What?
Are you up here on vacation or are you researching a new book?
What the hell are you? Get out of here! Get out of my door! Get out! Out!
Authorities have told Prime Live News that best-selling novelist Luke Sinclair has come under suspicion for the murders of 2 women in Keeler's Point, Maine. We'll keep you posted. Back to you, Sheldon.
Hello, Mother. Something's come up suddenly. Would you mind taking Chrissy? Thanks. Okay, I'll be right over.
I always used to think that being a forensic pathologist in a state like Maine was a cush job.
I just want to know what happened.
Well, I see evidence of sharp force injuries. Decedent's ribs look to have several abrasions, probably caused by repeated blows from a sharp object. Her neck is completely crushed. Tear marks, small radius, most likely human. Major arteries appear to be intact. The windpipe is damaged. Bruised indentation marks on what remains of the victim's neck tissue.
In your opinion, would you say these marks are the same as the marks in the first victim?
Yes, I believe so. Proceeding to the Y incision.
It wasn't really pursuit. There was no chance involved, no potential for anything to happen but what he wanted. His prey was in a box, and he was watching and... and prodding, waiting for her to react so he could...
Someone's coming. Hi there. Out for a walk?
I'm taking in the sights.
Well, then why don't you sit down and have a drink? It's tequila. Come on, it'll warm you up.
Thank you. That's a very nice offer. But I don't drink.
Yeah, right.
Hello, Luke.
Melanie,
You were on the news tonight.
that was a mistake.
Plenty of bottles around here, and I don't see your medication anywhere except scattered all over the floor.
Look, Melanie, I have to do this.
You have to do this? I need a week to pull it together. Well, it's been 5 days, Luke, and you're back on the bottle, you're off your medication, and you're a murder suspect. Have you got the next 2 days mapped out? What's wrong, Luke? No plan to pull this together?
Stop, please.
I'll tell you what the plan is. Pack, now. You're coming home.
I can't.
What do you mean you can't?
I mean, they won't let me. The sheriff has threatened to arrest me.
What's going on up here?
What, you're not asking if I have anything to do with these murders, are you?
Why aren't you taking your medication?
It's part of the block!
Oh, and the booze isn't.
Look, I'm not doing this for myself, Melanie.
Oh, cut the crap. We have enough money. We could live on royalties forever. You're doing this for the reviews, for the glory, for more distance between you and the past.
That's just not true.
Look at yourself, Luke. Look at what you're becoming.
I feel awful.
What do you expect when you drink?
This is the last time, Melanie. It's the last time, I promise.
This is the 4th last time. And there will be a 5th and a
No.
6th.
No.
Why can't you tell me what it is?
I have told you before. It is the place I have to get to write. I can't do it on medication. I can't do it sober.
Who the hell is that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking for Luke Sinclair.
Melanie, this is Detective Sonia Lerman. Detective Lerman, this is my wife, Melanie.
Are you one of the people who's keeping my husband here?
Actually, we're not keeping him here. We're hoping he'll stay of his own volition and help us with the investigation.
Maybe you two should get your story straight.
Maybe I should go. I'll talk to you later, Luke.
Well, that's impressive. Are you sleeping with her? Is that what's keeping you here?
I started drinking again. That's wrong. I'm not taking my meds. That's wrong. But I did it after I got away from you and Chrissy.
Answer my question.
Not sleeping with her!
I don't believe anything anymore. Not a word you say. You've done it to me, but I'm not gonna let you do it to Chrissy. Goodbye.
Melanie.
Right.
It's for you.
Yeah.
Hi, it's me. You got a minute?
Yeah, I got a moment.
About an hour ago, this lady drives up looking for Luke Sinclair. I don't know if it's press or what. And then she says she's his wife.
His wife.
Pops, when am I going to get the phone line for my computer?
Someone's supposed to be in later on today.
Well, I hope so, because this is starting
Ms.
to get...
Lerman, the preliminary blood test came back. Blood was found under the fingernails of the victim. It was type AB negative. Sinclair's type O, it's not his.
Have you told him yet?
No.
I'd like to do that myself, if you don't mind.
Be my guest.
Yeah. Oh, hello.
Did I catch you at a bad time?
Oh, seems like any time I'm awake these days is a bad time. No, really, it's okay. Come in. What's up?
Last night, the timing wasn't great, I guess.
No.
Sorry.
Oh, I guess it wasn't altogether unexpected. I'm not happy about it, but,
Well, getting away for a little peace and quiet hasn't exactly turned out that way.
That's called irony. Come on in.
On that note, there's been a new development in the case. Your blood doesn't match the killer's.
Are you surprised or disappointed?
What's that supposed to mean?
So, so I can just leave?
Whenever you want.
Detective.
My name's Sonia.
Sonia. This is,
What?
Oh, a couple of hours ago, you thought I was a homicidal madman. My marriage just broke up.
I thought no such thing. I had to make sure
Why
that...
didn't Norris come and tell me?
Because I wanted to.
Why?
I don't know. I thought it was the right thing to do. Good luck with your book.
I'm all done.
Seems fine.
Just sign here, please. Right there. Thanks.
What are those?
What?
Those white plastic things.
Oh, we use these to bind cables together.
Can I keep this?
Yeah, sure.
Sheriff, I've come up with another lead. Just hear me out.
I've talked with our legals, and I can't release employee information without a subpoena.
The court order should be coming through the fax right now.
I have to see it.
You will.
Why don't you park yourself by that fax machine, and when it comes through, you give us a shout.
These are the employee files. I'll stay and watch.
Suit yourself. Norris, you take the service logs. See if you can match time and location with the areas that the victims were picked up. And I'll check a list of company employees and run it through the NCIC.
2 hours, Miss Lerman. That's all we're giving us.
Then let's get busy. Were you aware that at least 4 of your employees have criminal records?
We have an affirmative action program for state parolees.
Do you keep employee medical records?
Yes, but your subpoena only covers a limited scope. I don't think...
I'm getting very tired of you. How would you like a speeding ticket every time you left work? That would be just for starters.
You can't do that.
This conversation isn't happening. But if I searched your car and found 2 ounces of marijuana, hell, you could take advantage of that affirmative action program.
Hi.
Hi.
You wouldn't be heading down to Portland by any chance, would you?
Matter of fact, hop in.
All right.
DUI. DUI. Petty theft. Here we go. Donald William Hughes. Dannemora, 5 years. Aggravated assault. Attempted rape. He's still on parole.
Do you have blood type in these files?
Yes, in case of an accident.
He's a linesman. What's his blood type?
AB negative.
Where is he now?
You know, hitchhiking can be dangerous.
Well, I never hitchhike. It's just that I kind of got in a fight with my boyfriend and everything, so... Well, I figured a phone company guy, you know.
You caught the news lately?
Nope. I haven't seen a TV or heard a radio in weeks. Why, something happened?
Just the same old, same old. You got a name?
Yes, of course I've got a name.
What is it?
Guess.
I don't like guessing games.
Boy, you're no fun.
There he is.
Finola. It's Irish.
Huh?
My name.
He's got somebody with him.
You're kind of dense, aren't you?
There's a turnoff up ahead, a little shortcut I know.
You know what? Why don't you let me off right here? Let me off, all right?
Sorry, I can't hear you. I'm kind of dense.
Damn it, let me out! Let me out, jerk! Hey! Stop!
Why are you chasing me? I didn't do nothing!
Put that knife down.
You gonna shoot me, lady?
Don't move!
Looky here. That's the real thing.
Damn.
What?
Well, he ran from us, but could have been because of the drugs. He was on parole.
He had a drug problem. It fits the profile. Hey, this case is wrapped up.
I just heard.
He had a girl in the van, and as soon as he spotted us, he took off. So I went after him. He had a knife and he wouldn't drop it. I've never been in that situation before. Anyway, Internal Affairs will hold an inquiry and I'll deal with it then. Right now, I'm just pissed off because dead suspect can't tell us anything.
You've never shot anyone.
No. I'm sure they've already made an appointment for me with the department shrink. I didn't want it to be you.
Well, this, I guess that about wraps it up.
You think so?
Don't you?
The coke bothers me. It gives him a reason to run. I mean, he might have thought it was a drug bust. He's on parole, back to prison for a hell of a long time.
The girl cinches it. She said he was trying to kidnap her. Those plastic cable ties. We're done here.
But what if we're wrong? What if another girl dies?
Oh, Hobbs, you're seeing your movie of the week go down the drain? Just go file those reports.
Good day, Miss Lerman.
Good luck, Hobbs.
Yeah, take care.
So you out of here?
Catching a charter with Dr. Goulding. Tell me something. Why didn't you back me up when I went after him?
Oh, I figured you could handle it yourself.
That is such bull, Norris. Was it a test? Or did you hope something would happen to me?
I'm a bit out of shape. I couldn't keep up with you youngsters, that's all. You're just being paranoid.
Paranoia pays. 2 young girls weren't paranoid enough.
Those young girls were cruising for an end they deserved. One of them would blow you for a ride across town, and the other one had that skull tattooed on the back of her neck. What the hell was that all about?
What are you talking about?
Nothing, Detective, nothing. I'm just saying it doesn't shock me. It may shock you, but not me.
You know, at first I thought you were a little backward, but you have an attitude rarely found in the higher primates.
Okay, goes. We're ready to board whenever you are.
Thank you.
Thought you weren't gonna make it.
I had some unfinished business to take care of.
I'll bet you'll be glad to get away from this place.
It's not my favorite town. The second victim, the German girl. You autopsied her. Did you see a skull tattoo on her neck?
Well, most of the flesh on her neck had been bitten away. So it was pretty difficult to determine, but I'd say, yeah, there was some kind of a tattoo. Could have been a skull. What's wrong?
I've got to go back.
You checking out?
I'm checking out of this town. No offense.
Never thought you did it anyway. Doesn't make sense. Writer, killer, different kind of animal.
Not everybody thinks that way. Thanks.
It wasn't Donald Hughes. It was Norris.
Norris?
Yes. I had to go back to the office to get my computer. We were wrapping up the case. And Norris mentioned something about the German girl having a tattoo on the back of her neck.
So?
So there was a tattoo on her neck, but Norris couldn't have seen it at the site, and it wasn't noted on the autopsy report because her neck was mangled.
Maybe it was on the missing persons report.
No, it wasn't. Norris couldn't have known about that tattoo unless he'd seen her alive.
That German girl. He went right to the place where she was found.
Because he put her there. And the first murder, that page from the book, Wilma called Norris that night to tell him that you checked in. I think that he went back to the scene and planted that page with the intention of pinning it on you.
But the telephone guy shows up.
Which puts him in the clear. And that explains why he didn't back me up on the chase, because he wanted that guy to kill me or injure me so he could put a bullet in him. But I shot him. I shot the wrong man, son of a bitch.
It's all right, okay? Okay. Let's get out of here now.
Norris.
Sheriff Dalton Norris?
Yeah, who's this?
It's Daryl Jansen phoning from the Augusta Police Lab.
I got a few things for you. We just got the samples back from your suspect, Donald Hughes.
Yeah?
Well, our data seems to indicate his blood type is AB negative. negative.
We know that.
We also did further
Tests with the blood from under the fingernails of victim number 2.
You know, it looks like her own blood. The DNA matches.
That wasn't Hugh's blood.
No. And that red chip of paint you sent us.
We found traces of the same material on the book pages. I don't know if it means anything to you.
But it's the same paint.
Thanks.
He's coming after us. He's trying to pull us over.
He doesn't know you know anything, right? I'm just taking you to Augusta, that's all.
I thought you were on a plane.
I missed the flight. Mr. Sinclair was kind enough to offer me a ride.
Mr. Sinclair, would you be kind enough to step out of the car? I need a word.
We'll never make it in here. Luke? Luke? Luke?
Lauren! Where is he? Where's Sinclair?
What do you want with him?
It's him. He's the killer.
No, Norris. It's you. That German girl? You wouldn't have known about the tattoo on the back of her neck unless you'd seen her alive.
All right. I did see her alive. I picked her up hitching outside of town.
What is this, a confession?
God No, I didn't kill her.
Then why didn't you tell me you picked her up?
I had my reasons. Maybe they weren't completely honorable.
Listen to me, Norris. You're sick. You need help. Thank God.
It was the red paint. That's what he said. The page from the book. It was the red paint.
What are you talking about?
This isn't right. This is, should be someplace else. It should be night!
I don't understand.
They could see the lights of the city, hear the traffic. His victim couldn't believe she was so close to help, so close to civilization, but so far away. But it was the way he wanted it. It was the way of calling out to them to end it. But not now. He turned back to her.
That's the third murder from Reaper.
And it's yours.
Don't do this! Don't do this.
It's $275. It's yours.
Ow!
You know, I don't think I have another book in me.
Not even another sentence. His wife says that Sinclair's been on psychotropic drugs as long as she's known him. Something about correcting a chemical brain imbalance. Said he was the perfect father, perfect husband, except when he drank.
And when he did, the alcohol opened up the neurological floodgates.
You got it.
Well, I better get going. Thanks again for everything, Sheriff.
Thank you, Detective. Take care.